Sorry. I did kind of mean to do that, but I kind of didn't. So, hello, buddy. So I'm at 65%, but I'll charge it shortly. I won't be cooking too long. What's weird is that with the titling on the laptop, which the audio is still not recording on, I wonder if it's an audio. He was playing with that, wasn't he? And I wonder if it's maybe not a YouTube thing, actually. Just a moment here. Maybe it's an audio setting. But it works on here at least, so that's good. But the titles can be longer on the cell phone, even though it's a smaller screen. Mono audio is off. I don't know if that... Stereo mix instead of microphone. I wonder if that will have fixed the problem. Right now I'm rolling with this, so I think I'll just do that. But I'll check later and see. Yeah, default. That seems like that setting may have been wrong. Let me just check. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll look at that later. This is the second podcast I've done today, so I might not do a third one. But if I do, I think my default... Well, I mean, I don't know. I prefer them both for different reasons. But I'll see if that fixes the problem. In the meantime... so I think I was able to get most of the other question in, which is, would you like to see me, or would you like to be involved with my cooking of my lunch? Now, where do I lean this? There's the best spot. And the day's going fairly quick. It is already after 12, so I probably shouldn't have too much caffeine, until I take a nap kind of midday, later in the day, for the most part. And so, I mean, people that are just going until they go to sleep at night, you know, they might just drink coffee throughout the day. I try not to. And I had about half of it this morning, and maybe, but I don't know, part of me wants to just be low energy if I'm low energy, and not, you know, and this tonight, I also don't intend to roll super long, nothing to do with Trevor coming, because that's not to this evening, but I kind of don't anyway, and I was hungry, so I figured I'll cook while I do this, and it'll be good. And I can mostly focus on doing both. I'm just putting on some lotion. Not rubbing my hands in a weird way, I promise. In a normal way. But yeah, this stuff should be pretty easy to make. So, and I got a topic at hand. Now what's different about this? Because maybe it was just the laptop props better. For some reason, I mean, that works. Why didn't I think it worked? Or maybe just the light is kind of distracting me at the moment, but didn't last time. But that's kind of the only spot I can put it at, because it's on the, I don't know what they call it, part of the coffee maker that's like a clear window, and it's got like, it looks like it's got moisture marks on it, and then it kind of slopes down the rest of the coffee maker, which I have this leaning on, so that wouldn't work very well. What I could do is possibly put it up here. But now you're going to see all this stuff. You know, that's something I guess I've learned, is that nothing's going to be perfect in life. You know, you can get close to perfect, but nothing's perfect. You know, yeah, that's a bit better in here. Anyway, so I'm going to cook, and you're going to look. And we'll talk. And then we'll walk. I'm not going to be cooking in a wok. I'm going to be cooking on a pan. And it's something that's not really super complicated to make. In fact, I've never had this. I've had these things, but not together. What I'm going to be making, and then we'll talk about, and we can chat about the topic in the title as well. But what I'm going to be making, I hope it don't sound weird, oh, and they're not, they were in the fridge, they were frozen, so they'll be even quicker to cook. Even quicker if the element is on. There's these things, I feel mixed about them, neutral about them. They are possibly a great thing for kids though. And they've been in our freezer for a while, but I've been eating them a bit lately. And they are these veggie tater tots, essentially. They've got broccoli and cheese in them, but honestly, neither is all that noticeable. So they're pretty much, I mean, the broccoli a little bit, and you can certainly see that broccoli is in it, but they're pretty much, and I really want to try and get them crispier than I've ever gotten them before. It seems to take longer than one would think. You know, whether people want to say this is healthy or not, I don't care. As far as that goes, that opinion, I'm going to eat it because there is a vegetable in it. Like I say, they're average, but what I'm going to do with them will make them better than average. Then I'm also going to use some plant-based, and I don't know what the plants are, and it's not green. It's very actually similar. I don't know if it's too soon to put it in, but meat. I do and I don't. I do and I don't. I don't want to get into a big topic about, oh, you know, why people should be vegan or vegetarian and all that. I get people's reasons and somewhat agree, but also somewhat don't, and we don't need to have a debate about it. I will say that A&W has a very interesting advertisement. I don't know if it's recent. It's something I found in paper clutter, and I think it was attached to some coupons, and it could have went back quite a bit. And basically they had a little slogan that I thought no vegan or vegetarian is going to like this. But anyway, so I'm just frying up some of these in the pan, and then I'm going to add some of this. It really does taste a lot like ground beef, and I don't want to say the brand because, well, if I said this, I don't know. First of all, I was very surprised, so I'd be very surprised if there's more than one brand that is going through this, but apparently this brand is going out of business. And the article, I didn't read it all, or it wasn't very long maybe, it said something about how they just aren't selling enough. And I'm thinking, first of all, there's lots of vegans and vegetarians out there. And yes, maybe some of them don't even touch stuff that reminds them of it because it reminds them of it. But a lot of people like this plant-based stuff, you know. I mean, like I said, I eat meat occasionally, but, you know. But yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, they're also good with like pasta. Can't remember what else I've had with them. But yeah, it's like, it's really very similar. And, but I want all that is remaining until they stop selling to be mine and all mine. Just kidding. The person left there like, what the heck? Oh, come on. It wasn't that crazy. Just a wheedle. I don't know if even crazy would really be the word. But anyway. But yeah, yeah. And it cooks fast though, that's the thing. And these, like I say, don't really, so I'm hesitant to add them yet. And then, you know, you can have it with some mayonnaise or sour cream or hot sauce, whatever you like, ketchup. I actually have some mayonnaise ketchup right now. But yeah, it's really hard to imagine how certain things are plant-based. Like this stuff, you know, like what plants? Sometimes, like mayonnaise, you know, but it is, so they have it. So, You let that cook for a few minutes, then I'll add that stuff, and then... Oh, if you do this as like a brunch breakfast thing, you could also put syrup with it. I have a bit of syrup on this plate from this morning that I'm going to use up, actually. And when I place the phone where I put it, and that little bit might actually be a bit distracting behind me, but it felt too low over here. Am I wrong or am I right? Maybe it's not bad. That's just stuff to go out to recycling. Yeah, that's alright, I guess. So, but this, and I have this on, one, because I do get a chilly neck sometimes, and two, because I feel like this might be distracting on my shirt. It's kind of like a tie-dye discoloration. It reminds me, there's a group in, you can make it a family group, but I'm not sure. There's a guy that goes like tie-dye, and I want to look at that. Looks like a clown in this picture. But, and he might actually be. But anyway, when I put that there, I moved some cinnamon, and I wonder what that would be like on it. You can say cinnamon and cheese, but there's really not much cheese. Like they, you know, for anybody who eats tater tots, I don't know if they're potato-based, but they do taste quite a bit like them. And back when I was a tot, yeah. So, you know, sometimes when I get an idea an idea for a video, I just like to come and roll with it, you know, right away and stuff. So that's partly what I'm doing. But I was hungry, so like I say, I wanted to do that. I should have done this a little bit earlier, but I had a fair-sized breakfast. Actually, no, I just had that one piece, didn't I? No, I had two. Right. But, anywho, so the other topic in this video, what inspired it actually was I have 3 devices that I'm using, a laptop, a tablet, and a phone, and 2 out of the 3 were at 50% charge level. One was charging, there's a bunch of other stuff in that power bar, so just one thing was charging, the other 2 weren't. And 2 were at exactly 50%, and these are actually cooking quite quick. Maybe time is flying when I'm podcasting, I guess, right? And then one was very, very close to 50%. And I thought, maybe I'm supposed to say something other than that coincidence about the number 50. Today's show brought to you by the number 50. And I thought, well, I don't know if I know what to say about it. But, you know, and then I really opened this broadly. But I thought, well, yeah, I might add more cheese, but I'm going to have cheese on the pasta tonight. Just kidding. I'm just looking at sauces and seeing what I might want to use. Put that there this morning? I didn't mean to. I should finish up this. I still don't know what to think of this stuff. I just flashed it very quickly, and it helps itself. It's like, oh yeah, I want to get some of that stuff. And then it helps itself, right? Oh yeah, they have jalapeno cheese whiz now. I know some people are saying processed this and that, and whether it's true when the label says made with real cheese or not, you know, it's so hard to avoid processed stuff these days, and I think a little bit of it ain't bad. And honestly, sometimes I think we shouldn't care. Just enjoy our life. I saw a quote earlier today. It said something about smile as often as you can while you still have teeth. You know, it's kind of like just enjoy your life while you have it as much as you can, and try and be healthy. But again, perfection isn't a thing, you know. Close to perfection is, but I don't feel like perfection actually exists. I'm thinking that looks a little bit different when you're seeing me more fully than it does. 2 people here on the left are like, let's go. No, they may have been. Who knows? And if not, then who knows. But yeah, I was kind of being a little bit distracted by it. Different when I'm sitting over on the couch. But chicken sauce? I don't know. I'm honestly not a huge fan of barbecue sauce. It's okay, but I'm not big about it. How much? But it was probably, otherwise I'd say yeah. But I don't know if it goes with this thing. So, I need a pulling thread. I was up by the other day, I can't remember what I said last night I needed because I'd seen a show, which I want to like. And there was one thing that made me feel like maybe I shouldn't watch it, but then there was another joke that was mentioned in there which I really didn't think was kosher. I want to like the show, but anywho, listen, Joey. I think it was Joey. Anywho, but just quickly, I'll say what I'm thinking of. First of all, I included the 40s, even though it was the 50s that we were looking at, because I'm at 42% right now. No, just kidding. But also because I am almost 40. And this is the first year, I mean, my dad passed away in his 40s, late 40s, but I don't think that's entirely why. This is the first year, or this is the first kind of age milestone. I guess, I'm bad at how they phrase it in math, I guess it's third decade. Maybe been weird to think this way in my up to the age of 10, but then at the same time, my dad, just after that, a little after that, not much. Anyway, but, I'm going to turn this down, it's actually clicking away quite fast. Yeah, so I was just curious, people's perspectives about the 40s, about being in their 40s. But then again, any age too. Like when I was briefly upstairs before I started this podcast, I was kind of thinking, like, I'm not in my 40s yet, so I can't really say much about it. I mean, sure, I know people that are, I guess, but maybe not a lot of them closely, though. That's the thing, right? And same with the 50s and all the other stuff, right? But I did have a thought, and I think there might be something to this, so I'll say it, and curious what you think. Part of me wants to say, though, that, oh no, it's not an age thing, though. It's that people always, it's a human thing. You know, kind of like some of the other recent topics on this channel. It's kind of like, so part of me thinks it's very much a human thing, and part of me thinks, oh no, but it may be a bit more of an age thing. And you know, and we all have different lives, and we all learn different things at different times. And you know, have different, some of us takes a while to learn certain things, right? So again, I don't want to say that this is absolutely the way it always is. But there's a part of me that feels like younger people, like let's say teens in their 20s, they especially are looking for people not just to like them, but that are like them. Again, we all like when, and nobody's exactly like us, right? But we all like when we can relate to people. And I think most people we can relate to. For some reason, I'm feeling like those younger categories, they feel the need for it more. I don't really know how to explain it very well, other than maybe because they're looking for the validation, and it does something for their self-esteem. But I mean, okay, so maybe it does, you know. But that's something I kind of thought of. Like I know I kind of talk, about nostalgia and back in the day and that every now and then on this channel. So I'm just getting ready to have lunch and just kind of saying a bit more on this topic, and feel free to join in. Basically, what would I say was the biggest thing I learned? I think when we're young, some of the biggest things that we learn, aside from like walking and talking and riding a bike and all this stuff, like one thing I think is friendship. What friendship and family means and looks like. I would say that not much beyond the age of 10, and then not that friendship family. Like, yeah, I still don't know what that is. Let's get, who knows, right? But they don't. But who knows? Maybe they do. Anyway, part of the matter being is that I also learned, and we should all be trying to do our best for each other and to do good in the world, so I'm moving around a lot. But, I don't know what that little flash was about, but 30%. But, it was on the other side of the door, so we got it over. Plus, I'm kind of tuned up most of the time. But yeah, basically, and, people, it's not that they shouldn't go through loss, because they will. But they should be there for each other when experiencing those kind of things. But, losing my dad and then others showed me what that's like and how real that is. In my 20s, I feel like one of my recent videos that did quite well, actually, I'd mentioned something about what is the biggest thing I've learned in life and I could try and remember, but I kind of want to get to my food here, and I'd love for you to check out that video. When I say it did quite well, it might not look like it to you, but to me, small numbers that carry goodness within them, like 1 to 5 people chatting, in the chat and having a good conversation. Sure, that's not necessarily a big number as far as YouTube goes, but I feel it makes the podcast, a lot of the times, and it enriches it, and so I appreciate it. A few likes, I'm happy. A few more, I'm happier. You know what I mean? Views, I don't think I'm the only one, but I might be one of few that it's like, if they don't come with a like or a comment, they don't mean as much to me, but yeah, so I would love for you to check out that video, and I do kind of remember what it was called. Something about living versus existing. And there is a bit of a difference. Maybe not a big one, but a bit of a difference. So you can check that out. And it was more active in the chat. I don't know if I've seen any other people again. Maybe they've liked them. Maybe they've tuned in. Maybe they meant to subscribe and forgot, so they haven't been getting notified. But we did have a nice conversation, a nice time chatting at the time. Nobody's here right now, and I just want to have a bit of this. I don't think I've ever had this before. Although I did have both of these things in pasta recently. So it was like little gnocchi with broccoli. Kind of. Potato, somehow. But just to wrap this up soon, because it is dropping fast, the charge, and I would like to eat. Some people don't mind people eating on camera and don't mind doing so. I mostly don't, but I somewhat do. I'm also going to do a bit of aromatherapy thing. I have this interesting lotion. It's made in Italy, but looks like Scotland. And it's got a pine scent to it, and it's quite nice. But yeah, in my 20s, now I go on about, how, degrees and this and that aren't necessarily everything in a lot of instances. But I did learn the importance or the joy in education and being in classes and routine. At the moment, I can't think of anything else big that I learned in my 20s and in my 30s, which I'm living now. I don't know, to be quite honest, part of me, because I want to eat and I'm tired and I did a big podcast earlier, part of me thinks, that just check out the other live streams on this channel, and you will probably hear a lot of the things that I'm, thinking about, and therefore also kind of learning about and feeling. And it's not the only thing that encapsulates my 30s, and not the first part of them, but I would say your best answer might be there, because I don't know if I could think of one. If there had been some comments in the chat, although I've only been rolling for 25 minutes, we could have talked on them, but there hasn't been, so I think I'm going to wrap up. Take care. Hope to see you again on the other videos and on this one. Remember to like and subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. And bye for now.